Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Fit and Flourishing Podcast with Joanna Joy. I am Joanna Joy, and today I am joined with my husband, Spencer, and we are just going to chat today about some of the joys and trials of marriage. We've only been married for 2.5 months.
Almost 3 months.
Almost 3 months. On the 28th, it'll be 3 months. And I thought this would be a fun way for us to chat and connect. And you guys can learn a little bit more about him because I know some of you guys like my podcast. And this will be up on YouTube too. At some point, I'll do video podcasts, but I'm just not in a mental space to do that. So I will do that when I have the space and time. But for now, this one's just going to be audio only. And this will be also Vlogmas 23. I can't believe I did all of the Vlogmas days, although I did skip a few. And so, yeah, we're going to get started. And if you guys like these kinds of videos, please leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe, and we will do more of them. My channel is mainly like health, fitness, lifestyle, but, I'll share a little bit of personal stuff here and there, just because I know that people want to get to know the real me and all that. Okay, so Spency, how's life being married?
Well, we're currently on our second honeymoon in Mexico. It's been pretty good.
You might have to speak up because of the microphone.
Okay. Well, We're currently on our second honeymoon in Mexico. It's been pretty good. We're going home tomorrow. Honestly, I think we've both been really busy at home, so it's been good to kind of make time to get away on vacation.
Yeah, I feel like after the wedding, which is, I don't know, maybe this is not typical, maybe it's atypical, I don't really know. But I feel like after the wedding, we just like hit the ground running and didn't really, it was like I moved in like a week or so before the wedding. We went to the wedding, we had our honeymoon, and we came back and like immediately we both started working, especially Spencer. Like I took another week off, but Spencer immediately was like back into work, and it's kind of been nonstop ever since then.
It's been a grind for sure. That's real estate this year. It's made me realize I need to have better time management skills when we get home. Things are going to slow down at least for another few weeks until the spring market, and just focus on things at home. And then when the spring market does start, kind of try to have a cutoff each day and let it go and set boundaries as far as like when I answer my phone and whatnot, because it is going to be busy.
Yeah. I think I want to come back to that, but I have a question first. How did you have an idea of what marriage was like before getting married, and then what it's like now, and is that any different?
I think the example of what I had of what marriage is my parents, at least my mom and my stepdad.
Yeah.
In a sense, because before that I didn't really have a good example. So, and I think it is. I think we take care of each other in the same way. We have different needs than my parents have. Obviously, my parents are much older and, require different things of each other. But I think marriage is about, holding space for the other person and taking care of the other person in the ways that we do. And I think even though we're both busy, we still manage to do that.
Sorry, I was taking a sip of my coffee, you guys. Yeah, it's so interesting because I actually didn't have, I didn't think anything of marriage. Like, it's weird. I think people like have these fantasies, and maybe I used to have them when I was younger, but I had no idea what to expect, honestly. And yeah, I haven't lived with a person in probably, it's been years, 7 or 8 years. And so, yeah, I don't think I had any specific expectations. But I think what I've realized is that when people say that marriage is work, they don't mean that it's like, oh, like hard and like, oh, I have to really, maybe they do mean that. We've only been married for 2.5 months, but what I think I realized was that marriage is hard means you have to like make time for your partner, because it's very easy to just go back into like two people living in the same house, but like not being, and especially for us, because like we're both busy, we're saving for our house, we're working really hard, and being like, okay, like Sunday mornings are for us, Monday nights are for us, and like making time for your partner. I think that's what people mean by marriage is hard. That at least that's part of it. And I can, I talked to my sister, and I was telling her, I'm like, oh, I can totally see how couples like quote unquote grow apart. I can 100% see it, because if you're busy and your life is anything like ours, you could just be two ships going, and never really like stopping to communicate. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's accurate. I just think that we're also kind of learning to be, we were a couple for almost a year without living together, so we ended up spending a lot of time apart too.
Yeah.
Like 50 miles apart, with you in San Jose and me in Oakland. So, that's not the case anymore. So it's kind of like we're in a phase where we're learning to live with one another and each other's kind of habits and intricacies and everything else. So, that's all new and interesting, and we're working our way through that at the same time as it just has been very busy.
Yeah. And I think sorry to interrupt you.
Well, I think we're doing a good job at it.
Yeah.
I think we need to continue to, if trips are what it's going to be, we need to continue to make sure that we put this planning into place to make sure we do things like this, and then also do the things weekly, like go to church and have our evenings, together, eat dinners, that kind of thing.
Yeah, what's funny is like, oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought. This is the second time this happened. Am I getting amnesia? I feel like it's the second time I lost my... What were you saying? Oh, I hate when this happens.
We're learning to live with one another, and...
Oh, I know what I was going to say. Got it. So when I met Spencer... Well, last year we went through the holiday season together, and it wasn't like this. So quite frankly, it was a bit of a shock for me. Not a bad thing, but when I met Spencer during I didn't meet him during the holiday season. I met him before. And normally with real estate, it is dead. Like there is nothing happening. I literally was like, what do you do? Like, do you even work? Like, how do you make money? Because you're sitting around all day kind of thing. He would go to the gym for like 3 hours because he had all the time. And so it's been kind of funny. Like I'm married and I'm like, I don't see you at all. I mean, it's been kind of crazy because last year at this time I could see him, we would just chat and, hang out all the time. And now because real estate was a normal real estate year last year, which means there was just nothing happening in the winter. And now it's been so busy. I'm like, I don't even see you sometimes during the winter. So it's been a little bit of a shock for me, but, which is kind of funny because it's a good thing. It's totally a good thing. I think it's great, but it was just like, I was like, wait a minute, this is not what I was expecting. So it's been a little bit of an adjustment. Next question. What has been the best thing about marriage so far? And what has been the hardest thing about marriage so far?
The best thing about marriage has been kind of having you with me every day. Like we go to bed together, we wake up together. Well, relatively, you like to wake up before the sun rises sometimes, but like just having you under my roof has been great, and kind of bringing you closer on a regular basis, having you there all the time has been great. I don't know what the hardest thing is. I don't know, maybe we haven't been married long enough to know what the hardest thing is. I think it's I think every couple has like their little like spats or whatnot over.
I think for me, it's like adjustment. Like I think adjustment is the hardest part. It's not even that like there's nothing difficult in the relationship. It is the adjustment that is difficult.
I'll say I think the hardest thing is the lack of space. Like you have. I don't know, like you just like there's no empty space in our place.
Yeah.
We have just stuff everywhere. And I don't mean like the lack of space between us. I mean like the lack of actual space in our home right now, just because we brought two worlds together into, this apartment.
And we opted to do that because we were like, let's be financially wise with our money, and let's see if let's maximize savings. And one thing that it was funny because I talked to my clients about this too, is clutter does matter. Like, you cannot be, like, we're trying to process moving in together and being married, and then there's like clutter. And I swear there are days where I'm like, throw the whole apartment away. Just like get rid of everything except the couch and the TV, because it does feel cluttered. And I think for me, coming from a 1-bedroom apartment where things were pretty spread out in my apartment, like I had a lot of space.
Except for your closets.
Well, I have clothing, but I had space between like my kitchen and my couch and my living room. There was space. My bathroom was massive. I had a huge bathroom. And then going into like clutter, although we have a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment, it's still like a lot of stuff. And I was just telling him, like, I want to get rid of the bookshelves. I want to move the wooden duck pieces. Cause I'm just like, it's just a lot. So I think I do agree with you there that it's just like not physical, because physical space is also important in relationships. I think there was a psychologist who said something about like couples have a desire for both intimacy and closeness and autonomy. And the best relationships have a balance of both. And like sometimes when you're in a physical space together and there is no space in the apartment, then it feels like there's also no space between you, which you need. Like, of course I love spend time, but I don't need to be on top of him every day, like, in a metaphorical sense, you know what I mean? So, I guess I should answer the question. Yeah. I answered it mostly, but I would say that the best thing, there's a lot of best things. There's a lot of good things. I would say Spencer's very logical and is also a very good listener. And so when I'm having my information dumps, he is a great sounding board. And I think just having, like he said, like being there, having a friend every single day, a best friend every single day is nice. It's nice to not come home to your dogs, or an empty apartment. And that's been the best thing. And I think, honestly, it's made me a better person, to be honest with you. I think, you guys know I'm a personal growth junkie. Like, I love personal growth books. I love therapy. I love, psychology. So I do think that it's made me a better person, and it's only been 2.5 months. So I think I like that, even though, what does the Bible say? Reproof construction is hard at a time. What is it called? Reproof? Yes, it's hard at a time. Discipline is hard at the time, but it bears good fruit. So not that it hasn't been challenging, and not even for between us, for me, because I like to hold a mirror up to myself. So that's been the best thing, honestly, is that I'm like, wow, like I get to grow a lot. And actually one of my parents, of the athletes that I work with, when we first got married, she was like, if you look at marriage as like a place for you to grow and to be better, that's how, those are the best marriages. And she's been married for a really long time with her husband. And actually she's like the second person who said that to me. And so, just looking at being like, wow, this is so awesome. Because even though I may hate it at the time, and I'm like, man, it's good. It's good. Anytime you get to grow, it's a good thing. So, you about done here, mister? Any final words?
I say a lot of the times, sometimes you fight me along the way when I try to influence what's best for you, and then later on you'll come back and say that you're appreciative of that, or that it was the right thing to do.
100%. And I think because part of the adjustment piece is, I think that's part of the adjustment piece. And my independent girlies, my boss babes will get it. part of the adjustment is like you're fighting a little bit of like even though you know what's right, you know what's good, you're still fighting it a little bit, because that's just who we are. But now Pastor Brown's gonna be like, don't just say that's who you are. He used to get on me for saying that, but everyone's a work in progress, including me. So anyway, you guys, that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. I had fun. Thank you for doing this for me.
You're welcome.
This is the best part, is that he does things for me that I know he don't want to do. I know he don't want to do it. He want to be out at the gym right now. He'd rather be at the gym. We're going to go to the gym because we have massages and not massages, but pedicures and manicures scheduled for later. So anyway, you guys, thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.